All right, I think it's time to get started. We are 1 minute past, and I want to make sure I get people in and out of here that have an agenda and are super busy. And I want to be respectful of their time and for those who've shown up on time. So, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Weigh In Live More webinar. I am your host, Jennifer Colburn. And for the next 30 to 40 minutes or so, you're going to listen to me speak the entire time. So welcome. And I am super, super excited and happy that you have taken the time out of your day to join this presentation. There are a couple things I want you to know before we jump into this and get started. The first thing is this webinar is being recorded. And it's being recorded for those who were unable to make it, or if you want to take notes, you can take notes and then listen to it later, or listen to it later and take notes, whatever you want to do. But it's there. It's going to be there for viewing again. When the webinar is finished, it will be uploaded to my YouTube channel. For those that have registered, and you're registered if you're viewing this live right now, but for those who have registered, a link for this will be emailed to you. The second thing that I wanted to let you know is we will have a question and answer time at the end of the presentation. I'll try to answer them the best I can to my knowledge, and to put those questions in. There's a chat box underneath the webinar box on the website page there. So you can put your questions in, and then at the end, I'll take a look at those and see if I can answer them for you. So with that, let's begin. So welcome again, and I wanted to start off with one of my favorite quotes. There is no one giant step that does it. It's lots of little steps. And when we really want something that's outside of our reach, we oftentimes feel a little overwhelmed, discouraged, maybe scared. When looking at that big picture, it's just big. Achieving weight loss and a healthy lifestyle can be this for many, many people. Sometimes that mountain just seems way too high to climb, and it can be scary and overwhelming, that kind of thing. So for instance, when I got started with running, I didn't always like running. It wasn't my favorite thing to do. I learned to like it. But when I got started, I weighed in at 180 pounds and just had twins and didn't know what I was doing. I really didn't. I was scared. I actually had two friends. Actually, they were my running partners that taught me how to overcome some of the big challenges within my running. And one of the big challenges was to run hills. I hate hills. And just to look at them scared me, terrified me, knowing that I had to run up that thing to become a better runner. And I absolutely hated it. So, what was their advice that they gave me? Well, just put one foot in front of the other and keep moving. Simple, right? Yeah, but not easy. Was it hard? Most definitely. I just kept on saying to myself, up and over, up and over, up and over, I can do this. But once I reached the top, it was the best feeling that I could have gotten. I had succeeded. And when it comes to health, we all should have that one goal that seems unattainable. And we call that our BHAG, which is the big, hairy, audacious goal. And you know what? We have this and then we go for it. Not obviously in one jump or in one huge giant step, but it takes one foot, one step in front of the other, one step at a time, and always keep moving. Now, Okay, so we're going up these steps, we're moving forward, and we're gonna probably fall. And we're gonna probably fall backwards, take a step backwards. Just things happen. And the key is we need to pick ourselves back up and keep going, keep moving, keep climbing, and just not quit. So, here are a few questions that I want you to think about as we get started. When did weight first become an issue for you? So, when was the first time you remember weight being a problem? For me, it was when I was 10 years old. I was in ballet class, and the kids in my class made fun of me in my leotard. They called me names and they whispered behind my back. It made me feel awful. I didn't want to go to dance anymore. It was just a bad experience for me. And the first encounter with my weight was the very beginning of many years of battle against weight loss. So, thinking about this question, when was that when was it for you? How did you feel when this became a reality for you? Then my next question. What are things you have done to try to lose weight? For those of us that have struggled, my guess is that you didn't only try one thing. We wouldn't have diet books, videos, and media out there if we weren't trying. So think of the things that you have done, which leads to the next question. What diets have you tried? Now think of all the different diets, and I'm sure there's probably at least one or two of us that probably have done something absolutely crazy, like, I don't know, like the peanut butter diet or the grapefruit diet, or I mean, something even crazier than that. Um, but I'm sure we can share our stories and have many experiences. But maybe at that time they had worked for us, but it was nothing that was substantial that could keep us healthy for very long, or a lifestyle that we could have had. The diet couldn't be something that we could sustain for our entire life. So I want to tell you a little bit about my story. This is a photo from the last 3 years. In the picture on the left, I weigh 155 pounds, and I thought I was healthy. I was vegan. I mean, come on, vegans are healthy, right? But I couldn't understand why I couldn't lose the last 15 to 20 pounds. I really wanted to lose that for so long, and I tried so many things. And actually, this is what I was doing. I was running 3 to 4 times a week. I counted every single calorie that went into my mouth. I logged it. I wrote it down. I used an app. I did everything. And I counted my macronutrients, my fats, my carbs, my protein. I was doing what the books tell me to do. The only thing that was different was that I was a vegan, but something known as a junk vegan. Um, Even though I counted my calories and I planned for all of that, I was still a junk vegan. And for those who don't know what that is, it's it's being a it's being able to eat foods and processed foods that aren't as healthy, even though they are vegan. So one of my weaknesses, okay, this is almost embarrassing, but it's true. One of my weaknesses is and was Oreos. Okay. So for those who like Oreos as much as I do, that dark, crispy cookie, surrounding that creamy pillow of love. Yep, they are vegan. And guess what? I ate them. And don't even get me started on the mint ones, especially around Christmas time. And oh man. But here's the thing, they weren't nutritious or whole. They weren't what my body needed. On top of that, I was eating lots of bread. And the bread, even though it was homemade, I justified that it was homemade. It doesn't have any preservatives in it, and I know the ingredients that go in it, but I ate a ton of it. I loved it. I also ate canned and frozen vegan foods high in sodium that they used for their preservations. And so I obviously wasn't eating as healthy as I should, even though I was counting calories and my macronutrients and running 3 to 4 times a week. And it just wasn't enough. So what did I do differently to drop the remaining pounds? Well, first of all, I want you to realize one thing. You look at these pictures, and my before picture was in 2013, and my after picture is in 2016, which is this year. It took 3 years to learn what my body was telling me, and then learning what it truly wanted to eat. So this is what it looks like now for me. I run 1 to 2 times a week, and I do daily home workouts. Now, okay, so I say daily home workout, and this could be me sometimes dancing in my kitchen while I'm cooking. And hey, don't judge, because those steps do count. I sometimes can rack up almost 5,000 steps grooving to my little beat while I dance. So with that said, I do count that as a workout for myself. I don't count calories now, and I practice something called mindfulness, which I'll get into a little bit later. I have done an elimination diet to remove the inflammation from my body. And here's the big thing. I went from being a junk vegan to a clean eating vegan. So this shows how much I have honored my body now versus before, how I listened to my body and didn't agree with, and the food that didn't agree with me, I was eating. I got rid of that. I reduced my running. Yes, reduced my running, but I focused on what I found to be active fun, the things that I really super enjoyed to do. And because I learned these things, I am able to eat without counting calories at all. But I do still keep track of my protein, and solely because I have to eat, and I can only eat certain foods for my digestion right now. So a little bit about my family. I love this picture. A good friend of mine took this for me, Marsha Foster, and she's a great photographer, and she captured this moment for me. And it shows the happiness of my family. And it hasn't always been like this. After having twins, I struggled with my weight. I had low self-esteem and depression. And because of the unbalance of my family, we were falling apart. We were barely hanging on. But with a new focus and a new direction in life, our family has pulled together and created a solid foundation in our relationships, in our spirituality, in our careers, and in our home. And we work daily, and I mean daily. It's not easy. We work daily at trying to be balanced in these things because we know that we have found happiness here. So my intention for you today in this webinar is to inspire you and permanently change your perspective on weight and weight loss. But here's my disclaimer. This webinar is for educational purposes only. It is not intended to replace medical advice offered by physicians or medical practitioners. The Vegan Seed, Jennifer Colburn, that's me, does not claim to treat, cure, or prevent illness. I am not a nutritionist. I am not a dietitian or a doctor. I am simply a certified holistic health coach that loves every single person that I come in contact with. So that is my disclaimer on this webinar. My philosophy is each person is beautifully made in their own unique way. And so I believe in something called bioindividuality. So what is one person's food is another person's poison. So what diet works for someone won't necessarily work for the next. So, okay, for example, you found that peanut butter diet that was super awesome and you lost 20 pounds. I am so happy for you. But because we are so different, someone who can't have high fat or maybe allergic to peanuts won't benefit from that diet. So I meet each person where they are at in their nutrition. It doesn't matter to me if you're vegan, vegetarian, raw, or a meat eater. I will treat you with the respect and honor that you deserve. One approach I truly believe in is something called crowding out. Crowding out is adding the positive and healthy options to the diet without taking anything out. And naturally, the body will find ways to accept the positive and push out the negative. So instead of drastically changing what you're eating, slowly start incorporating some greens in with your dinner, or add more water in your day. And chances are you will be able to give your body what it needs, and eventually the bad and the negative will be pushed out of the body as it's getting the right nutrients. So I asked some people what kind of challenges do they face with weight loss. And here was some of the answers that I got. No accountability. Well, it's hard to do it on your own, right? Lack of motivation. Who wants to get off the couch after a long day of work, especially a hard day of work? Breaking bad habits. Negative influences. We tend to become like the people we're closest to. Comfortable or settled in a relationship or marriage. They love us for who we are, but not speaking up when we truly need them to is not helping us. Hormones and stress, addictions, family life. Those of us with kids, hey, I get it. It's busy. We have to run and do a lot of things with them. Lack of time, lack of energy. Those are some great challenges that we have. And keeping these in mind and keeping your challenge in mind, let's look at some ways that we could shed those pounds safely and still feel satisfied. The first one I want to look at is find love. Okay, so I want to talk to you a little bit about primary food. Primary food trumps secondary food. Primary food is food that would be your relationships, your career, your family, your spirituality, your environment. These are your primary foods. And people often reach for food to fulfill other nourishment lacking from their lives. So, for example, let me give you a quick example of this. You get into an argument with your spouse, or you have a terrible bad breakup with your boyfriend. And what is in your freezer? That good old pint of ice cream. Yeah, well, that's a perfect example of how primary foods affect our secondary foods. And our secondary foods is anything that we put into our mouths. So whether it's food, medicine, whatever goes into our mouth. So finding ways to heal relationships in your career, in your family, with God and others that surround you in your environment. This is super important. It's important to find that balance in your primary food. Like I was telling you before with my family, we had to find balance to be healthy and happy, and it all works together. The next one is drink water. We often mistake dehydration for hunger. Drink a glass of water and wait a few minutes, then reassess your hunger. And oftentimes, it is that our body is just thirsty. And it's the same kind of signal when you're dehydrated, it's the same kind of signal for hunger. A good indicator to see if you're actually hungry or not. So chances are, if you are still having that rumbling stomach after you drink your glass of water, it's safe to say that a snack could be beneficial. Eat lots of vegetables, fruits, and dense whole grains. These are your nutrient-packed foods. So these foods provide a healthy fiber, usable energy to keep you feeling full and energized longer. This is something that is super easy that we can just add into our day. And if you're not a vegetable kind of person, just adding it slowly in your day, or slowly to your meals is fine too. It's just taking small steps. You don't have to just go and buy that kale and eat it raw. I don't suggest doing that. But take those small steps and maybe try a salad, or try a new vegetable that you haven't cooked before, and make it an experiment with your kids. And even if you involve them, they're going to want to be involved in what it tastes like and what the texture is like. So you can make it a fun thing. So eat good fats. Healthy fats keep you satisfied and have a host of digestive and health benefits. And some of the good fats that you can find are from avocados, which are some of my favorite, nuts, seeds, dark chocolate. Yep, it's on there. Fatty fish, chia seeds, coconuts and coconut oil, olives, and eggs. Some of my favorite ones are avocados, obviously, and like I said before, and I use the chia seeds, and recently I have been making a chia pumpkin. It's kind of like a breakfast pudding, and I mix it with my yogurt in the morning, and it's extremely filling, substantial, and very tasty. I will in the future be posting that recipe for those that want that. Eat mindfully, and this is what I said I was going to talk a little bit about here. This one was a big one for me. It was a key one for me to learn. It is also a big one for Americans. We constantly eat in a rush. We eat with distractions, and it's super hard to do because it's always in our face. So turn off the TV and other distractions. Appreciate your food, and the way you appreciate it is know where it comes from and how it got to you, the process it took to get to you. And not only that, appreciate who made it. And this was a key for me to relearn how to eat. It was very instrumental in learning how to eat again, because I had constantly put myself in a position where I was eating fast, or I had to eat before my girls got up, so I could prepare or be ready for whatever I had to do for them. And I was eating in front of my computer while I was working. I was just constantly not being mindful of my food. and appreciating it. So paying attention to what you are eating to feel full and satisfied after you eat. Okay. Share meals with others. I love doing this, especially with my kids. It makes mealtime more fun and meaningful. Just putting one plate out there and just to engage my kids in the whole idea of food and having their little hands grab at the plate that I had prepared for them and myself. And it just makes it fun. Eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This one is one that it's hard for us to do, especially in the rush of our day and the time that we have. Skipping meals, it affects your mood and your blood sugar levels, and it lends to overeating when you become too hungry. And some of the clients that I have talked with and dealt with this issue, they were eating actually super late at night. And what was happening is that when they were eating late at night, they weren't hungry in the morning because they hadn't given their bodies or their stomachs enough time to digest that food and be prepared for the next morning. So my suggestion that I would give to them is, hey, try eating your meals earlier and doing a lighter snack at night, something that, it won't be so heavy on your system. Or try drinking some water that has some lemon or infused fruit in it. It will take away some of those cravings too that you might have late at night. So trying not to eat so late will help being able to eat breakfast. And obviously we're on the run for lunch. So if you can prepare your meals ahead of time, then it will be best and easiest for you to make sure you get that lunch in. And just maintaining those meals throughout the day to keep your blood sugar levels level. And then use smaller dishware. Okay, so people tend to eat more when their plate or bowl holds more food. Same reason, I mean, you look at what restaurants pull out for you. They have this huge plate and it's filled with pasta. I went with my family to a restaurant that primarily serves pasta, and I saw the serving that came out for my children, and I couldn't believe it because it was almost the size of two servings that I would give to them. So, and I know with my children, they tend to just stop eating when they're full anyways. So by the time they were done eating that, they still had maybe 3/4 of the bowl filled with their gluten-free pasta. And so when you're eating, my suggestion would be try to take a smaller plate, because what happens is that when you eat on a smaller plate, as if you look at this picture that's here on the slide, you'll notice the plate is full of food. So what this does is it tells your mind that you are getting the sufficient amount of food that you need and that you don't need anymore. And one of the things that our family does is we eat on our salad plates. Our salad plates are our dinner plates. The only time we bust out our dinner plate is like if we have some kind of large item that can't fit on a small plate. But primarily we eat on our salad plates. Next one I have for you is chew well. Put your fork down between bites and slow down. Chewing well aids digestion because it's going to produce that saliva that reacts and breaks down the foods, and slowing down gives your brain that time to register that you're actually full. Now, this is something that I work with my clients on, and it's super fun because what I suggest to them is I wish some of them were on here, they would tell you, I would say, chew your food 20 times before you swallow. And the stories I would get back are absolutely hilarious. They'd be like, Jennifer, 20 times? That is super mushy. That's just like baby food. Well, if you actually chew it down to that, imagine what your digestive system's going to do when it hits that. It's not going to work so hard to break it all down versus swallowing and eating super fast and eating some of that food still in its whole state because we didn't slow down and chew. So that was pretty funny. I like that one. Cook more. Cooking at home saves money and it allows you to control the quality of ingredients and the amount of fat, salt, and sugar used. Plus, it will be made with love. When you go to restaurants and fast food places, they add so many ingredients to it. Not saying about the preservatives and chemicals and everything else that could be added to it. I'm talking about just your salt and fats and things that are added to it more than you would do in your own home cooking. But if you do choose to eat out and it's just something that you're working maybe on crowding out, maybe try, your meatless Mondays and having at home and when you normally eat out every single day of the week, and then gradually moving that in. But if you do choose to eat out, try asking for no salt or no oil or dressing on the side, and then add it yourself, because then you are in control of your food rather than having someone else who doesn't care about your body dump it into the food and serve it to you. So this is a great opportunity for you to take control of the food that you eat, even when you are out away from home. Add in to crowd out, and this is what we were talking about before. Don't deprive yourself by taking away foods you enjoy. Add in the healthier choices, and it will naturally crowd out of the less healthy foods. Your body is getting the right nutrients it needs. So when you add in those healthier foods, and when it does get those nutrients that it needs, you're not going to feel as hungry or craving those sugary sweets or extra fat, because it's going to get what it needs in the healthy foods that you're adding into your diet. Get moving. Yes, for some of us, the dreaded exercise, any type of exercise that will rev up your metabolism, aid digestion, and reduce stress. Okay, so this is why I try super hard to find things that I enjoy. Hey, you saw I cut back my running, and I added in my workouts and dancing. And soon I'll be adding in some Krav Maga, which is martial arts for those that don't know, to the mix, because that's something I really, really enjoy. So for some of you, if you're at work, try taking the stairs, walk to a further train or bus stop, or do something, like I said, you enjoy. Find that exercise that you want to do. Slow down. Being calm and taking time to sit down and eat more slowly allows you to take in the tastes, smells, and textures of your food, leaving you more satisfied. Now, I have a trick to this, and it's kind of fun. Pretend you are a food critic, and yes, even with your own food. You sit there and you analyze it. Analyze your food. You smell it, you taste it, you think about the texture that's in your mouth, and you enjoy and savor every single bite. The slower that you can eat, along with those 20 chews, the better it's going to be on your digestion. It's going to trigger your brain that you are full. And all in all, your body's going to thank you later and not be overtaxed with extra food. Get a good night's sleep. Our nation is sleep deprived. I mean, we are constantly going um, with our technology and not getting the rest that we need. We often reach for quick energy foods like caffeine and sugar when we're lacking in this energy from too little rest and relaxation. So try getting in a quick nap or getting to bed earlier, like 30 minutes earlier each night. Just work on adjusting that schedule or getting that extra sleep that you need, honoring your body for what it needs, because it it needs to last you a lifetime. You don't want to shorten life because you can't get the proper sleep. It's not worth it. Okay, so this doesn't happen too often for those with super busy schedules, but when it does, and you're bored, before eating out of sheer boredom, reach for a book, an art or home improvement project, or any activity that brings you pleasure, like dancing, listening to music, singing, whatever it may be for you. For me, I love to do woodworking with my husband. And I also like to do Pinterest. Yeah, I'm a pinner. But I like to, you know, look at my future and pin those things. So that's kind of fun for me. And it takes my mind off of food, unless, of course, I'm pinning about food. So don't do that. I do want to share with you, in my opinion, why diets don't work. So, all the ones that we had just talked about are safe ways to drop pounds and feel satisfied. We want to make sure that we get, those things in and get moving, get the right amount of sleep, do what our body is telling us to do and just listen. Um, and it's super, super important. And when we start doing these and honoring our body, the drops are going to fall off. And not only that, you're going to do it and feel satisfied and not feel like you're trying so hard to lose weight. But I do want to share with you why I think that diets don't work. And one of the reasons is they're not sustainable. And I'm talking about these diets that you see in the picture here. They diets can be alienating, stressful, depressing, and restrictive. They can separate you from the rest of your friends, family. They can cause so much stress, leave your body in this state of deprivation. And then what happens is you want to quit, and it's not fun. And then guess what? You feel alone. You are alone in this, no support, and it's just one more thing that someone thinks that you're just going to start and quit. Okay? The other thing is it's not bio-individual. Okay, so diets don't take lifestyle and individuality into consideration. So look at that picture that's there. That is a picture that I took in a used bookstore. This is just one bookcase out of maybe 10 or 12 bookcases filled with diet books. Okay, so you look at all of this and how these books claim to get you in shape, in the best health, to give you those abs. If this worked for everyone, if each one of these books worked for every single person, we would be in the best shape ever. I mean, it's just it. And here's the thing. it may have worked for that person, and it may work for you, and it may work for someone else, but it doesn't mean it's going to work for every single person out there, because these books don't know you. These books don't know who you are, what you like to do, what you enjoy, what your family life is like, what your career is like. And it doesn't take all of this into account. It takes this standard person that they think is having these typical problems and trying to fit and squeeze you into this book. So it is not bio-individual. And it costs a lot. So these special diets often require expensive specialty food or prepared meals. And many of these have supplements and shakes. And like I said before, this may work for many people. And I am so glad if it does work for you. But living, in my opinion, should be, you should be able to enjoy life. You should be able to enjoy the food that you put into your mouth and not have to worry about if it's too much calories or too little calories. Or the only thing that you should be focused on is if it's truly nutritious and if it's something that can sustain you for the rest of your life. So those are the reasons why I think that diets don't work, in a nutshell. So as your health coach, we work together to find balance in your life. Have a tailored, individualized program for you and you alone. I will support you 100% of the time. I am here to walk you through the tough times. I will be your motivation. You have trouble getting off that couch, and I will be right there reminding you the reason why you want to be healthy in the first place, okay? I am your team. Success comes when we have a team. They are behind us, encouraging us to make the right choices. They're there to encourage you to climb that hill, to do one step after another, and they're right behind you, encouraging you. Could I have climbed that hill by myself? Could I have ran that hill without my friends? Probably. Would I have done it alone? If I would have chose to? Probably not. But I knew that with their support and them encouraging me to put that one foot in front of the other, I knew that I could be successful, and I was. So we are a team. I offer everyone a free 60-minute session. This is a health coaching session. If you would like to talk to me further and let me hear your beautiful story, there is a section, a little sign up button underneath the chat box on this page. And you can sign up for a free 60-minute coaching session with me. And it's just for me to hear your story and for me to learn about you and see how maybe I can help you. But it's free with no obligation. So now it's time for my question and answers. Let me pull in my box. Okay, so let me see here. Let me see if I'm not seeing the webinar. Uh-oh. I wonder what you're viewing it from. Okay. I don't know if everyone got to see the webinar. It shows that some people were not able to hop on the chat, and I bet it was because it was sending them to YouTube. Let me see. Be able to see it. Let's see if we have a few. I don't know. That is so odd. Okay. It looks that like this webinar was okay. Some people saw it on the YouTube. I apologize for that for those that tried to catch it on the website. It was causing issues before, and we thought we had it working. Okay, so it will be on YouTube for sure. Now, the recorded version will be up and emailed to those who have been on tonight. Again, I apologize for those that tried to get on to the website and were not able to. Um, I I will make sure that you all get the recording of this and that you get the information that you need. So I am going to go ahead and move forward. And the last thing that I have for you is my contact information. If you are needing to contact me in any way, the website is www.theveganseed.com. Jennifer at theveganseed.com is my email, and these are the social media links that you can find me at. And be sure to like our page on facebook.com, The Vegan Seed, and find me on these other places. And thank you so much for joining me and learning how to shed the pounds safely while still feeling satisfied. I hope you found this webinar helpful. I'm sorry for those that weren't able to get access to it, but I'll be sure to make sure that you have the link to it. I look forward to hearing your stories, and I hope you take care this evening. Oh, I do have one question that popped in. Um, Do you help with leaky gut and hormonal imbalance? Yes, I do. Um, yes, I do. I actually have leaky gut currently right now, and I am on a program that I put on myself that I have worked on. This is now about the 14th week now that I'm on this program, and my stomach is loving me for it very, very, very much. And so, yes, I do work with those who have leaky gut. And again, the programs that we have are individualized for you. And basically, we would discuss and talk about what degree your leaky gut is at and see where we can go and possibly working on eliminating some of the problem areas or problem foods that could be inflaming your stomach. But we want to close those gaps up and prevent that from leaking into your bloodstream. And there's definitely ways to do that. So, yes, I do. Thank you. I look forward to um, meeting many of you. Some of you are on right now, and chatting with me right now online. I don't know if other questions. Let me see if there's any other questions. How to have rest and eat healthy when you work graveyard. Oh, that is one of the toughest things. Um, let me address that. As far as finding rest and eating healthy, this is where you need to train your body um, on a definite schedule. You need to um, basically train it in knowing when is the appropriate time to eat, when is the appropriate time to rest, because naturally our bodies have that circadian rhythm, and we just want to um, go with the flow of what nature tells us to do. And it is super hard to go against that. So, training your body and keeping on a schedule, keeping on a just certain foods to eat regularly, and not just all over the place, and just getting your body, that is the best way that I would approach it. um, I'm not sure, there's probably other people that have other ways of doing it as well, but that is the one way that I would approach that, is to get your body on that schedule. um, Let me see if there's more. um, uh, right now. I am so glad, Shannon, that you got on and were able to hear it, and that it was uh, helpful for you. I'm super excited that you were able to join us. Next question I have is, does your whole family eat vegan? I ask because it's hard when everyone has different diets in the household. Nope. My family is not completely vegan. I am the one that is vegan, gluten free. Um, I mean, you name it. I'm the one that's the strictest of them all. My kids occasionally will eat eggs, but for the most part, they are also vegan and gluten free. My husband is what we call a flexitarian. A flexitarian is someone who will eat something like chicken or turkey, and um, occasionally, but not all the time. He is primarily vegetarian, uh, but when he's at home, he eats what we eat unless he has his additional sides. But yes, it is very hard when everyone has different diets. We try to stay as close to the same meal as possible, with things that we could possibly add to the diet on the side, or I'm sorry, to the meal on the side, such as um, if we're having tacos, we have a spread of different things that we can have. Each person can make their own taco. And, we have vegan sour cream and real sour cream and real cheese and vegan cheese, so we kind of make it to where it's easy for us to accommodate our family. But no, my whole family is not vegan. Primarily me and my girls, primarily they're vegan, but occasionally they'll eat an egg. So, next question is, where could I get a list of healthy foods to eat at night that won't make me sleepy or gain weight? That's a good question. Jennifer, what I can do is I can go and see what is available as far as what the information that I have, the list that I have. But what I would try to do is stick to the healthier, nutrient dense foods that are lighter on your digestive system. So, nothing that's super heavy like cheese and dairy or heavy meats during the night, just solely because it's going to be hard on your digestive system through the night. I would try to make your snacks much more light in nature, popcorn, um, things that aren't so um, heavy, like I said, hard on your digestion. Um, if you can incorporate, your vegetables, something like not celery, but well, if you want celery, but I was thinking more like cucumbers or carrots and stuff like that. Or even if you want to cook them down a little bit, like your carrots down to make them a little softer to digest a little bit easier, that can be helpful too. But what you want to do is you want to make it as easy on your system as possible because you are working through the night. So, and the more, and when you say that won't make you sleepy, the more food that you eat that is nutrient dense, the more energy it's going to give you. The more sugar you eat, the more sleepy you're going to get, because what's happening is that your body is going to crave more and more sugar because you're going to spike your blood sugar. You're going to be super excited and super energetic for a little while, and then it's going to drop again. And it's going to say, I need more. I need more. So basically, you need to add your nutrient dense foods in, light in nature, and it should give you more energy. Uh, it's good, at least it's. Yes, yeah. I have some comments that says, at least it's very whole food and clean diet. Yes, absolutely. The one thing that I do try to hold for my whole family is to have a whole food approach and as much organic as we can, as much organic as our budget will allow. And if I can't do organic, I am doing the best I can to get non-GMO. It is the most that I can do to get chemicals out of our food. I will do the best I can. So yes, I'm not. Oh, yes. I had someone say that they noticed that lately they're excessively tired and grouchy, and they're guessing it could be the food. Yeah, it could be, especially if it's sugar and high fats, that kind of thing during the night, since you're working night shift. Actually, any time of the day. I know that when I'm hungry and I eat the wrong thing, I just end up being hungry again, like 5, 10 minutes later. It's not fun. And then you get hangry and then no one's happy. Is there any more questions? I think I think we might be good. All right. All right, I want to thank everyone again for being on, and I'm apologize for those that had to um, miss out on it. And I hope that we can get that fixed for next time. And I will make sure that you all get the links. So thank you guys for coming in and asking these questions and jumping on. And it was fun. And I will let you know when the next one is. So you all have a great night. And I will talk to you guys later. All right. Bye. Ah, it's me.